This is a Mechanic Toys and Dr. Wu Steve train. I got this from the Ch0o store. There'll be a link in the description below. This is probably one of the weirdest third-party figures that I own. The figure itself is an interesting concept, but it's made of some cheap plastic. And while it's Thomas the Tank Engine, it's also a Bumblebee. Nani? Yeah, well, sort of. I'll explain that later, though. It's a little bit complicated. Here's a quick look at the packaging. I really do like the artwork and style they have going. Here's a look at the top, the side of the box art, the other side, and here's the back. Yeah, I'm not reading any of that. All right, now let's open it up. Here's a look at the figure. And before we go any further, we need to add the face of Thomas the Tank Engine. It's disturbingly split between the two shoulders. And now you have Thomas's face split in half. This is a really silly figure, and I love it. Here's a closer look at the figure, and he has an interesting head sculpt, but it is based off this version of Bumblebee from the comics. Oh yeah, I still need to explain that. So this figure is based off Bumblebee from the Transformers Heart of Steel comic. This is the original third-party figure. This is a reissue. This version seems to be based off this comic book cover, and this is a variant of this. Also, there's a Cliff Jumper version. Are you getting all this? There's gonna be a quiz at the end.
You understand?
I hope I'm not wrong about anything, otherwise this is how I'm gonna feel.
I failed.
At least you tried your best.
I didn't even do that.
I like how the design has screws for the antennas. He's got that little front piece going down the middle, some rivets on the side, some golden screws. They designed the head sculpt pretty accurately. I'm not sure how I feel about the red face, and I believe those eyes are a teal color. I do think that these side pieces are a little bit too big, and they do get in the way of the articulation. But that's how the original design is, so the toy manufacturer isn't really at fault here.
You are spared this once.
Also, I think on a technicality, these shoulder pieces need to be angled down a little bit, but like, does it even matter? Not even some of the promo materials have it like that. Now, detail-wise for this figure, there's a bunch of rivets all around it. There's this underneath the head. Inside the legs, you have some train details. You have a nice gear over here, a bunch of train engine-y stuff, and it's a little bit difficult to see right now, but if we move the chest piece, you can see some details on the abs. Overall, though, this figure doesn't have a whole lot of detail. Here's a look at the back of the head. Nothing too much going on there. He's got whatever the hell these things are called on a train. A closer look at the crotch piece, you got this nice little V shape. And now down here on the legs, these form the front section of the train. I don't know what this part is called on a train, but it has it. You have the wheels on the side which do spin. This thing right here doesn't move with the wheels, and the connection on it is super loose, so it'll fall off during the transformation sometimes. Here's a look at the back of the figure. Nothing much to say there. So this figure mostly consists of blue and red colors, if you couldn't tell. All the reds and blues seem to be molded plastic, and the only areas of paint that I can clearly tell are the obvious silver bits, the gold screws, the lights, the eyes. Also, the black and blue for the shoulders are painted. It's easier to tell when you look at the bottom, and that blue paint matching is really good. There are some other paint applications, but we're gonna move on now. I don't have a paint fetish. I do think this is a very interesting figure. However, the plastic on it doesn't feel like it's the best quality. It feels a little bit cheap, and the figure is also very light. I really think this figure is just it's kind of cute. It's like a very adorable design. It's a very adorable idea. Now let's do some size comparisons. Here he is next to Bulkhead, and I feel like they're paired pretty well together. Here he is next to another Bumblebee figure, music label Soundwave, and hey, we haven't seen him in a while, and he has a message for you. It's subscribe. He's telling you to subscribe. Legacy Alita 1, my most recent review, and because I'm a fake Transformers fan, the arms are still wrong. Alien Attack Girl. Excuse me, what the fuck? The joints on this figure are decently solid. They can hold their place mostly. This leg right here seems to be a little bit loose though. The head can spin a full 360. It can look up and down a little bit. These side pieces can move up. You can bring the arms up that high. And like I said earlier, they do get in the way of any 360 rotation that this figure could do. The biceps can spin all the way around. No hand rotation. There's an elbow bend. Waist rotation. These legs can move out into the side. They can move forward as well. They're also able to move back that much. There's a knee bend, and there's also an outward knee bend. Now the feet on this figure are really weird. They're split into two parts. You have the back part right here, which can only rotate, and then this front part, which is on a ball joint. So it can move out like that, and it can rotate all the way around. And there's also some front foot movement. Here's a closer look at his weapon. It's similar to that thing in Minecraft. These bits can fold for storage in the vehicle mode, and it has a very firm grip on it, and this piece fell. Come on. Oh, you just slide it down. I'm an idiot. It also comes with a little train track you can assemble, and it comes with this really nice card. I really like the material it's made out of. It's made out of a material with a type of texture that you can rub on. Anyways, the artwork on it looks really great. And here's a look at the back. Steve Train is a disguised version of the Sergeant. He likes to participate in I can't take this seriously. In human entertainment festivals.
What activities do you like to do?
Human activities.
Same here, old friend. Like us, there's more to them than meets the eye.
Excuse me, what the fuck? perform programs like a clown and play with the children. The children like to call him a happy... I love the text on this. Also, these over here are 5mm compatible, so you could put some weapons in there. Just be careful when taking it out though, because it does pop off with it. So make sure to just hold it down when you take it out. Well, this is stuck in there now. Okay, I managed to separate it with the hairdryer on a hot setting and then using a towel to grip onto this. Now for the transformation. First thing you want to do, just bring in the head and bring this flap up and over. Snap that in place. Now bring these out and up. Open these flaps. Bring in both of the hands. Now bring in these arms to the back. Now we rotate this right here and get it out all the way like that. And then we need to bring this flap out. Rotate this all the way and then bring this flap out. Now bring the arms up and make sure the sides with the wheels are facing down. And then we can bring this down and have it slide into place. Same with here. Bring out the legs so you can align this up properly. Now we can move these wheels, rotate the feet in, make sure to bring these out. And now this abdomen piece needs to go in there. And that's okay. That's meant to happen. And now we can bring these legs up. Now we can connect them, close the front piece together. Now this part of the transformation I feel like is poorly designed because these pieces are meant to slide in with this, and I feel like over time that's just going to damage the figure with how this is engineered. You can kind of see it happening already. But regardless, get it in like so, and just make sure this is underneath. There we go, get everything to line up. And you might have trouble lining things up if the face pieces aren't on the shoulders properly. So what you can do is take them out and then reattach it when you do the transformation. Now we can bring the wheels back and bring that in. Now we just need to adjust everything so it fits in place properly. Now we can put this piece back on. And the connection with these side pieces is pretty loose, so be wary of that. Also, I'm not able to get this to tab in there properly. So we're just gonna leave it like that. I don't care. Anyways, here is the train mode of the figure. It doesn't look too bad. Also, I like how the instructions just say fin at the end once you're done with them. It's very chibi-like, it's very small and compressed. A lot of the details show out more in vehicle mode. It's still not a very detailed figure, but you can see some details here and there. Here's a look at the underneath. Here's a look at his dump truck. I like how there's a panel detail for where the coal would go. Now, if we take a look at the front, he has a very large slit going through his face. I kind of wish they included an extra face piece that was just one piece that you could put on for the transformation. Also, it looks like I didn't get this piece out all the way, so let me fix that. I'm following in my grandfather's footsteps and becoming a train engineer now. You know what? It's fine. I think I might have done this one too much, or is that accurate? I don't know. Not a whole lot of people seem to have this figure, which is kind of a shame because it's a neat little concept. Also, for weapon storage, you just kind of shove the pickaxe in there, and when you do that, it kind of untabs the front, so be careful of that. It doesn't tab into anything, but surprisingly, it holds in place pretty well. But it looks like if you even move it just a bit, it kind of undoes everything. Anyways. Now for the train tracks. Now I will say for these train tracks, be a little bit careful. The pieces are fragile, and I did manage to break this earlier when I first got the figure, but we can assemble these. Oh, and it looks like the piece finally came off. And yeah, there's the train tracks. It kind of works. I mean, not entirely. Not all the wheels move, and it seems to be a bit back heavy. So overall, I definitely don't think that this is a bad figure. Maybe a little bit too pricey for the quality of plastic, and despite not being able to tab this in, I still think this is a figure worth buying for the novelty. Now, if you enjoyed this video over here, make sure to check out these other videos. And a big thank you to all my patrons who support me on Patreon for only $1 a month. Also, I broke the legs on the Deno figure.